Hi and welcome to the membership intake module. In this video I'm going to talk about the membership intake system and walk you through the process of conducting your membership intake or induction application process through the planning tool. So this system, basically the way it works is you will create an account for all of your applicants. They will receive an email with their login credentials that will take them, there will be a link also in there that will take them to the Planning Tools membership application portal. There they will have access to your customized application that you've put together for them to complete, and you will have access to all of their responses, basically their entire file, as well as the interview and scheduling module. Also, the way the system works is you can basically assign a number of points to each of the components of the application, also to include the interview as well, so that when the entire process is done, you can generate a list, a quantitative list to basically evaluate your applicants on whatever scale that you choose. Okay, so let's get started with it. First thing you'll do is go over to the tools menu and then come down to membership intake. Right, and you're going to see two options: intake records and applicants. So intake records, we'll choose that. Okay, what comes up is a season, year, and then actions. These are different components of the intake that you can access. You can edit the intake information, delete the entire session. You can manage your interviews, your intake session recap, view applicants, and then you can actually email the different applicants. So let's go to, say we're going to create a new session. And you can kind of look upon this as a type of planning type document to set your intake up. So first thing you do, you choose a season. We'll just say this is going to be the spring of 2021. All right. Intake description. You can, this information that you're going to enter here is what's going to appear on the applicant side. So I'll give you an example of what we utilize for ours. All right, just as an example, you can okay, so I have some information in here. It says the spring intake for Cap League is open to young men that are in the 7th through 11th grade. Complete this application process, and applicants will be notified once their application has been processed. Applicants that will receive an interview must confirm their interview in this system. All right, and you can put basically whatever instructions and directions you want in here. This is very completely customizable. Okay, this name. This is the name that will appear in the membership application portal. So this should be basically the contact person that they will reach out to should they have any questions or anything. So we'll just say that this person's name is Tom Moore, and the email, let's just say, all right, and that email will, there's a section on there that basically asks a question, and this email is going to be configured to that button. So make sure that that email is correct, because the applicants will email you directly from their membership application portal, and it will go straight to this email. Phone number. This phone number will display on the membership application portal. The deadline date, the deadline that all of the applications must be completed, and do you want them to digitally sign the application? And we'll choose yes. Okay. All right, so that top part is finished. Down here it says intake correspondence. What this is interview location, interview instructions. So, so that you don't have to type in every time you set up an interview, this information will populate automatically. Basically, this is the default messages and location and interview instructions that will appear when you set up your interviews, which we'll talk about a little later. But here we'll just say that this is going to be Alright, so we've got some information in here. So you have our interview location, our interview instructions. It says please arrive on time. You must bring a pen, notepad with you. You must dress in business casual attire, and just basically whatever information you want the applicants to have for their interview. Alright, down here you have accepted message and deferred message. So when you change their application status from pending to accepted, this is the message that will appear, and you can again make this say whatever you like. This one I just put congratulations, you've been accepted into the Kappa League. We will be sending you further instructions via email in the next few days. Again, you can add as much as little as you like. And deferred message, these are for those that were not selected. Thank you for your interest in our program. Our committee had a very difficult task of choosing applicants to move forward. At this time you were not selected. We encourage you to reapply the next cycle. But again, you can make that say whatever you feel is best. All right, so that part's done. The intake correspondence is done. Okay. Next is the application fields. These are the questions that you're going to add to your application. All right, and you have up to 25 different types of questions. So here, field 1 is obviously question 1. You'll put your question in here, and certain questions are already there, so their contact information, all of that's going to automatically be asked on their application, so you don't have to enter those. But here you can start by list your hobbies. All right. Now here you have under field type, you have a text box, which is just a simple 1 or 2 word answer. A text area is for more of an essay type answer, and file if you want them to upload some sort of file. So list your hobbies, we'll do the text area. Okay. Next question, we'll put why do you want to join the Kappa League, and that'll be a text area as well. Next question is the grades. You can ask them to upload your most recent grades. And this one we want them to, that will be a file. All right. Number 4 is have you ever been on a tour? And we'll say that's going to be a simple yes or no answer. We'll put yes or no. And again, you can take your paper application and you can just go down the list and put all of the, configure all of your questions as you would need them to be. All right. So that part is done. So now I'm just going to go ahead and choose create intake. Now we have add applicants, but I want to show you that part in a second. We'll come back to that. But when you choose create intake, that creates the entire intake in the system. So now you see we have, before we just had fall 2020, and now we have spring 2021. Now to go back to that previous screen, to go back to open this intake back up, to edit it, you just choose edit. Alright, now before, as you know, we pretty much have got our deadline date didn't save in there. Alright, we have everything configured. Our intake correspondence, that part's done. We have all of our questions, that's done. Alright, although we only put 4. You know, normally you would have a lot more than that, but for the sake of this, we'll stop at 4. And then you come down to the bottom. The next step is to add the applicants. Well, first you have to create the applicant accounts. All right, so to do that, you come back over here to Tools, Membership Intake, and then choose Applicants. So in your public meeting or informational meeting or wherever that you choose your applicants to come, where you give the information about your program, instead of passing out paper applications, you're going to get their name, the applicant email, and the parent email. 3 things: name, applicant email, and parent email. And it'd probably be a good idea to write their phone numbers down too. But what we do at ours is we'll have several computers set up, and then they will come up to the table, and then we will actually create their accounts on site. So the first thing you have to do is create an account for everyone, and it's a real simple process. This person's name is going to be James Smith. The applicant email is going to be, parent email is alright, and then just create a simple 1, 2, 3 connect password, and then create new applicant. Alright, and you will do that for each person. So if you have 45 people that apply, then you will do that 45 times for the different people. All right, so let's talk about how this student or applicant, James Smith, will access the planning tool system. But before we do that, let's go back to our intake records. Choose intake. We have to add each one of those to this particular intake. So you go to edit. After you added all of your applicants accounts, you'll come down to add applicants, and then you choose select applicants. And Larry Thomas, James Smith. All right, so we will add Larry Thomas, and then we'll add James Smith. And we'll notice that once we've added everybody here, then there's no matches found. If you have people in here from the previous intake and didn't delete them out, then of course their names will still be there. But before we do that, I'm not gonna add them just right now. I'm gonna come back and add them a little later. But that's how you add them. Once you add them in, you click Update Induction. All right, what we've done here, I've gone to James Smith's email. Okay, and once you create an account for an applicant, they will automatically receive an email to the applicant's email. So here it says, welcome to the North Pike Kappa League's membership application portal. Please use the credentials below to log in and complete your application. Contact Robert Smith at demo@mail.com should you have any questions. Please visit our support page if you need any help completing your application. So this name right here comes from the settings page. This name right here comes from the from your My Profile Setup page. All right. Here he has his login and the password 123, and then the applicant URL. So this is what they will copy and paste if it's not a hyperlink already, to go to the membership application portal. All right, so we'll jump over here, we'll paste that in here. And that will take us to the membership application portal. All right, if you notice, this login page is identical to the regular login pages, except for the URL is different. So we'll log in with the credentials that was emailed. All right, and 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is what the membership application portal will look like. Welcome to the Plan 2 membership application portal. The name of the organization, North Lake Avenue. Over here, you got My Profile, interview details. We'll talk about that. And then here, a blue button says Start Your Application. So you can choose Start Your Application. All right. And here they'll have a chance to upload a picture. Their name, email, and their parent emails are already pre-populated in there. So what they'll need to do now is add their address. Date of birth, phone number, age, put the parent name and the parent phone number. All right, now you can choose save. But remember, we have not added this person, James Smith, to our application. So this is just the contact or the My Profile part of it. Down here, there should be an icon that says Online Application. It's not there because he hadn't been added. So we're going to go back and add him to that particular intake so that he'll have access to the application. He'll also you can also upload a picture. All right, we'll jump back over to the coach account. We'll choose. We're actually in the induction. Let's just go back out. All right, so we'll go spring. This is how you add applicants. All right, go down to add applicants, choose James Smith, update induction. All right, so now we'll jump back over to James Smith account, application account. All right, hit refresh, and now you see that he has an online application that is that's available. This is what he'll choose. You click on this icon, and that will take him to the application questions that you configured. Right. So here, the contact name that we typed in from when we set up our intake, the email address, and the phone number, all of that populates directly from the intake. This deal here says need help. It brings him to ask a question, and that question will come directly to to your email. Okay. So it's just a quick way for them to, they can email you directly, but just a quick way for them to ask you a question. Currently, the application is pending, so it says your application is currently pending review. That's a default message. Once we change it to accepted or deferred, the other messages that we typed in will appear there, and we'll show you. The description, remember that we typed the spring intake for Catholic is open to young men that are in the 7th or 11th grade. That information is displayed here, so you can add as much information, and the more the better. All right, remember we had 3 questions that we put in. We can have up to 25, so list your hobbies. All right, so we've got some responses in here. This is my hobbies are swimming, playing basketball, and reading. Why do you want to join the Kappa League? I want to experience being in the brotherhood. Whatever they want to put in there. Here he uploaded his grades. He uploaded a file there. Have you ever been on a college tour? He typed no. We chose that we did want this digitally signed, so the applicant can sign there. And the parent can sign as well. Click save signature on both of those and save. All right, you can at any time go back and edit any of his responses. All right, and the application has been completed. So we'll go now and look to see what it looks like on the applicant side, from the advisor side. So whenever you get ready to go back through and review your applications, you choose View Applicants. And as you see, there's only one person who's been added to this particular intake. So to the right, you got some contact information. To the right, you've got Review Application. Choose that. And this is what you will get. His profile picture's there, and all his contact information from his profile. This is where you will choose the application status, so we'll come back to that. But down here, there's a little link that says Review Application, and here you can view his responses from his 4 questions. List your hobbies. My hobbies are swimming, playing basketball, reading. I want to experience brotherhood. You have the question and the answer. For uploaded files, you can choose View Document, and then that document will appear. So if this was his grades, and this is just something that I just something I just uploaded, but if these were his grades, then that PDF will appear there. You can download it. All right, now here you see there's a selection of points. For each question you can give 1 to 10 points. So and it's probably a good idea to go through all of your questions and determine how you're going to rate each question. So if we're going to give him 2 points for everything that he lists, so he lists 3 things, so he'll get 6 points for that. If we felt that this was a strong answer, what we do is we'll give, say, strong answers get 8 points, moderate answers will get 6 points, and weaker answers will get 4 points, and exceptionally well responses will get 10 points. So we'll just say that this is just a mediocre answer. We'll give them 4 points for that. For grades, we'll out of the 1 through 10, if they're all A's, we'll give them maybe, or if it's A's and mostly A's and B's, we'll give them 8 points. All A's, 10 points. And if they have maybe all B's, then they'll get maybe 6 or 7 higher. However, but we'll just rate this person's grades at we'll give him a 6 for his grades, and we'll say that this question is not going to be rated. All right. So we can go to complete review. But remember, we haven't changed his application status. We don't know if he's been accepted or not yet. But to go back to intake, when we go back out and we go to intake session recap, this is where you can go and see a listing of all of the applicants, the number of points they received from their application, the number of points they received from the interview, and together what their total score is going to be. But we haven't got to that point yet. Let's talk about the setting up an interview. To set up the schedule of interviews, you choose interview, and then you have a button that says schedule interview here. You can choose that button for this person, and automatically the information from our correspondence is already automatically populated along with the interview instructions. If we wanted to add some instructions for him, we could do that, but so we don't have to retype this. If we have 45 interviews to schedule, we want this information to pop up every time, so it's already there. The only thing we need to do now is set the date, December 12th, and we're going to give him the 1 o'clock slot, and then you choose schedule interview. And what that does is it notifies him via email of his interview time and date. So let's take a look at that and see how that works. All right, we've jumped back over to the membership application portal for Mr. James Smith, and in his membership application portal, over here to the left, you have interview details. All right. Before we scheduled his interview, there was this button did not appear, but now that he has been scheduled an interview, this button is available. Interview confirmation, and here he's got the date, the time, the address. Those same notes are there for him to read, and confirmation. So he needs to confirm it and update, and his interview has been confirmed. We'll jump back to membership application portal. All right, and now we can view interview details for this person, and you can see that interview status, he has confirmed it. If you have multiple people and you want to look at the interview schedule, you have a button up here that says interview schedule, and it will list, and you can print your schedule off. So if you've got 45 or 50 young guys or ladies that you're interviewing, you can keep it organized through this system. So when you're done, during our interviews, there should be a way of rating everyone, some sort of quantitative rating system, and between 10 and 100. So whatever your way of rating them is, so if this young man got a 70 points for his interview, give him 70 points, click finish, and then you can go back to your intake record and look at your intake session recap. You'll see that he got 16 points from his application, 70 points for his interview, and when he's finished, he's at 86. So ultimately what you want to be able to do is, when the entire process is done from reviewing all the applications and interviewing everyone, you'll have a number over here to determine exactly how strong of a candidate they were based on your criteria. You can print this and you can download this to an Excel spreadsheet. So if this applicant has met the threshold to be accepted, you can choose View Applicants, go to Review Application, and change his status. So if he's going to be accepted, choose Accepted, Complete Review. We'll jump back over to the applicant portal. He's gonna come in and he's gonna go and log into his account, and he's gonna see, congratulations, you've been accepted into the CAP Elite. We'll be sending you further instructions via email in the next few days. If you chose deferred, if you choose to defer, if you did not meet the criteria, then this is the message that he will be seeing. Thank you for your interest in the program. Our committee had a very difficult task of choosing applicants. That's just what you typed in on that correspondence when you set your initial intake planning file up. Okay. Now, sometimes we find it necessary to need to communicate with the applicants, so we have a really easy way of doing that. You can put a subject here, deadline. Deadline extended. Hello all. Type. We have Right. For whatever reason, if you want to send them a file to be attached, you can choose that. If you want to send it to a couple of the applicants, you need to communicate something, or if you needed to go this email to go to everybody, you can choose leave all. But again, as long as their accounts are set up correctly, you can, this is a quick way of communicating with 45 or 50 people, and this email goes to their parents and to their email accounts. All right, so when you send that email out, this is what the applicants will get from the subject that we put. Here's the message. And again, just a quick way of communicating, sending additional communication out. All right, and this will conclude the discussion video on membership intake application portal. Again, this is another way that the plan tool will allow you to eliminate using paper and the tools of the internet. In this case, to allow members to apply for your organization online. This is one of the more popular tools that we have and recently added to the planning tool. The organizations that have used it absolutely love it. We've got a lot of great feedback from it. Real easy to use, so it's really appreciated. This will conclude our video. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions on this. I'll be happy to walk anybody through the application portal process. It can be a bit intimidating, but it's really, really simple to use. So again, just give me a call or send me an email if you have any questions. Thanks.